A busy Week 17 of NFL action continues this weekend. We saw the Jets fall to the Browns on Thursday Night Football. And now we're going to look at some other key games this weekend that bettors are going to have their eyes on. Joining me to break down the best bets for Week 17 on this edition of Hitting the Books is the host of Ask the Experts with Karan Bhatia. Karan Bhatia, here in studio again. How you doing, my man?
Dexter, always good to be back, man. Pumped to do this with you.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Also want to say congrats to you on your play-by-play broadcast that you did with the boxing on Boxing Day. It was a really big one, so salute to you for that. We got to talk before that, but I haven't seen you since you came back, so congrats on that, man.
Historic matchup in a way on ESPN Plus. It was. I appreciate you getting up early to check it out. By the
listen,
way.
I happened to be up early. I told you I was going to support and watch it, and there we go. I got to watch it and got to see the exciting call and finish to that one. So it was great, man. It was absolutely fantastic.
Appreciate that. We had some good boxing. Now we get some good football. What's better than that?
What's better than that? We're going to talk some football and some football betting. We're going to start off with a big primetime game on Saturday before we get to the New Year's Eve game. So on the eve, before New Year's Eve, we've got the NFC North champions, the Detroit Lions. They're going to visit the Dallas Cowboys. Now, look, Dallas, they've been strong at home this season, and they are 5.5-point favorites. But here's the thing, Karan, the odds makers, they expect a high-scoring affair. Over-under right now is at 52. How are you playing this one?
Yeah, it's a great game. It's happening tonight, so get your bets in. I'm going to be taking Dallas, even minus the points, and I'll tell you why, Dexter. Here's one thing. We mentioned Dallas is now back at home, 7-0 at home. They're going through back-to-back losses, but now back in the safe space, back at home. Here's one thing. Dallas hasn't lost at home since week 1 of last season. That's how prolific they've been at home. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to be taking the Cowboys at home. At the same time, we know they're going up against the Lions, who are very tough. Here's the bottom line. Dallas needs this win. The Lions want this win. Lions have clinched NFC North last week, the first time that happened in 30 years. So that's why I'm taking the Cowboys minus the points. We mentioned over-under. I'm going over 52. There was actually line movement in this. It was originally 53.5, so it's always a good spot if it goes in your favor. So I'm going to take the over 52. And Dallas is averaging over 35 points per game at home. So therefore, everything leads me to take Dallas plus the over.
I love the over right there. Dallas has been putting up numbers on the board at home. We'll see if they can do that on Saturday night. Now, on New Year's Eve, locally, the Giants, they're back in action. They are looking to play spoilers. They host the 8-7 Rams. Current the G-Men, they're 6-point home underdogs. But here's the thing. They're going to have Tyrod Taylor back under center starting at QB this week. Over-under for this one is 43.5. Yep. What's your best bet for Rams versus Giants at MetLife Stadium?
It's going to be an interesting game. The legend of Tommy DeVito, of Tommy Cutlets, right? It seems like it was a fun ride while it lasted, and I think it was a great story for New York. Now, back to business with Tyrod Taylor. I am going to take the Rams minus the points, minus 5.5. Now, here's the thing. We talked about in the last segment the team that needs a win versus wants a win, right? Unfortunately for the Giants, and unfortunately for many New York sports fans, the Giants aren't playing for anything in this game besides pride. Now, that is something to play for, but at the same time, the Rams need this win, and that's why I'm going to be taking the Rams here. We mentioned the Giants are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games with Taylor under at center. We mentioned Taylor is playing, but the Rams have covered their spread 5 times in the last 5 games. So bottom line, Rams need a win. Giants are only playing for pride in this one. Therefore, I'm going to be taking the Rams. Over under, I'm going to be taking the over. 43.5, I'm going over. I see the Rams doing their part, and I see a Giants team kind of rallying around Tyrod Taylor to get points up. So therefore, Rams and over. All
right, Rams and the over in that one. Sorry, Giants fans, only playing for pride. Curran not willing to back the Giants as underdogs there. All right, but Sunday also features an AFC marquee matchup as the 12-3 Ravens. They're fresh off their win over the Niners. They will host the 11-4 Dolphins. Now, Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, they are 3-point favorites here heading into this matchup. Over-under right now is at 47 points. Curran, are you back in Baltimore to make a statement here and solidify their spot as the best team in the league, or are you going to rock with the Miami upset?
I am unfortunately not going to rock with the Miami upset, which is to say I'm going to be taking the Ravens minus the points, 3.5 in this game. So there's a couple different reasons for that. The Dolphins did beat Dallas last week, so that kind of upset that whole narrative, like, oh, they can't beat good teams. At the same time, the Dolphins are dealing with the injury bug. At the same time, Jalen Waddle is not going to be in for this game, so I think that's a huge blow to the Dolphins and to Dolphins fans, unfortunately. The Dolphins are a different team on the road, and they're going to be in Baltimore for this one. So, Dexter, I think you would agree with me. The weather in Miami, it's a little different than the weather in Baltimore, right? Tiny bit. Just a bit. Slightly different climate, I think that we would say. So, with all that said, I think the Ravens will just be too much. I'm taking the Ravens at home. But I will actually take the under in this game, 46.5. So, we mentioned Waddle is out. I think that's one reason. At the same time, I could see both teams running plays that take up a lot of time on clock, running plays, things like that. So, therefore, I'm going to be taking the under, but I am going to pick the Ravens.
All right, this is one where you're going with the under. Got the Ravens here. A lot of people think they could be the best team in football right now after what they did to the Niners last week. Now, the Sunday night game, that features two NFC North teams, both looking to stay alive in the playoff race. Both teams have 7-8 records. It's the Packers who will be visiting the Vikings. Minnesota, currently favored by a point. This is basically a pick-em in this game. Rookie Jaren Hall, he's getting the start against Green Bay for the Vikings. Who are you putting your money behind in this NFC North showdown?
This is a classic rivalry, right? And at this point in the season, you really didn't expect the Packers and the Vikings to both be sub 500, but that's where we find ourselves. At the same time, this is an important game for both teams if they want to keep the dream alive and have a chance at the wild card spots. So with that said, I am going to be taking the Packers, getting 1 point. We mentioned just 1 point here. The reason I think that is because, yes, rookie Jaren Hall is going to be starting for Minnesota. Obviously, we saw a little bit of him this season, but he's mostly unproven. Vikings have a 19% chance to make the playoffs. Packers have a 30% chance. The Vikings have turned the ball over 30 times. That's the second most in the NFL. So therefore, that leads me to take the Packers. The Packers were actually 3-6 at one point. They've worked it back to 7-8, so I think they're trending in the right direction. Vikings are dealing with some injuries. So therefore, the fact that it's a rookie quarterback for Minnesota, and I think that the Packers are going to be motivated in this one, I'm going to be taking the Packers.
All right, rolling with the Pack here. Like that pick. It's basically a pick-em game. We'll see how that goes with the rookie quarterback for Minnesota. Last thing for me, Karen.
Yes.
You know this. I know you got a couple of player props for the people this weekend. You always deliver on that. What are your couple of props that you like for these Week 17 games?
Absolutely. So Week 17 NFL, we got games tonight. We got games on New Year's Eve. We're pumped, man. The only thing that's kind of sad is the NFL season's coming to a close, but we got playoffs coming up. So we're all happy in that. So here's some of my prop bets for NFL Week 17. First up, Tyreek Hill. He's been reliable. He's been electric. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill in the over 92.5 receiving yards and the over 7.5 receptions. We mentioned Jalen Waddle is out. So Tyreek Hill, we know he's been absolutely electric this year. In 8 games, he's gone over 100 yards. Last week, he hit 99, so he's getting close to that mark. So therefore, I'm going to say more yards, more targets, Tyreek Hill, and the over. That's my first prop. Second, Josh Allen. So Dexter, you know that a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions, right? Yep. You want to go to the gym more, cardio. I think Josh Allen's resolution is going to start early. More cardio. Therefore, I'm taking over 29.5 rush yards for the Bills QB. This is a huge game for Buffalo. If the Bills win this game, they have a 97% chance to make the playoffs. If they lose, it goes down to 45% to make the playoffs. So the Bills know what this game means. They're playing the Patriots, who don't have anything to play for. But I do think the Patriots defense will take away some of the targets for Josh Allen. Therefore, I think Josh Allen is going to have to win this game possibly on his feet. That's why I'm taking the over on rush yards. Finally, you asked for 2 picks. I like to over-deliver, Dexter.
So over-deliver is better than underperforming.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm gonna over-deliver and give you one more prop bet for NFL Week 17. That is Dak Prescott. I'm going to take the over 2.5 passing yards. So that was at plus 114 last we checked. I've already picked Dallas and the over earlier in this segment. Now, you would say, okay, well, Dak hasn't thrown 3 or more touchdowns since Week 13. But as we've been talking about, Dallas is a different team at home. They're a better team. And the last 3 or 4 times Dallas was at home, Dak threw for 3 or more touchdowns. Therefore, I feel like that trend is going to continue. The Lions rank 25th in terms of passing touchdowns allowed. So therefore, that all leads me to a high-scoring game, which means I believe that it's all trending towards Dak Prescott having over 2.5 touchdowns. So those are my prop bets.
Yeah, I like that last one, over 2.5 touchdowns. You talked about how the Cowboys score over 35 points a game at home. So it looks like it should be a high-scoring game there in that one. So good stuff. Always great with the props. over-delivering, not underperforming.
Yes.
We just got to see how these bets all turn out. That's the thing.
We got to see how it turns out, but it's a great time for football fans. We got a game tonight. We got games
Yep.
tomorrow. We got New Year's. I mean, what else could you ask for?
It's happy. Well, you know what people want? They want to win some money. That's what they want to do on these games. That's what's going to happen. That is Curran Bhatia, always doing a great job with the sports betting analysis. Curran, thank you for the time. Happy New Year. We'll do this again in 2024.
Dexter, thank you so much, man. Looking forward to 2024. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. See y'all next time.